And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for this past Wednesday's episode of the Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, Episode 5, or just Episode 5. I'm not sure if we're going to get another season for this, but I just like using saying that because normally I just have other shows. Anyway, so let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett. So, spoilers if you haven't seen the episode, because this was a pretty great episode. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Book of Boba Fett has been okay. I'm not, really, enjoying it. Like, oh my god, like I love like how I like Peacemaker right now. But we'll get to that later on. Anyway, so in this episode, we don't even get to see Boba Fett at all in this episode. Yeah, Boba's taking a nap somewhere. This episode is about the return of the one, the only, the Mandalorian. Mando's back. That's right. He is back collecting bounties again and doing his thing. And, of course, he gets into his little bit of a scrap. Something happens. He's got the Darksaber now, which is, like, all kinds of awesomeness. We see him in a, I guess, like a warehouse-type butcher shop kind of place. A place where you normally will find, like, a serial killer in a horror movie. So he shows up there. He's looking for this one guy for like a bounty. They try to attack him, and he starts wielding the dark blade, the Darksaber, and of course he gets injured. He kind of injures himself, and he needs to go get it, go get his armor repaired or make it stronger. So he ends up going to this planet where he finds the Mandalorian wielder who wields all the weaponry for the Mandalorians. He finds her again, and he takes the that staff that he had when he found Ahsoka. So he takes the staff to her, and he's like, "Hey, listen, can you melt this down to make a more stronger armor? Because that thing's like indestructible, That thing can block lightsabers." So he figures if he can melt it down into better armor, who have better more he'd be better more equipped with his armory. So she does, and then she also takes some of it to make something for Grogu, which, they mention in here. And then he goes back to Tatooine, where he hooks back up, seeing that woman who was giving him ship parts. I forgot the woman's name. So he goes to her, and he's like, apparently she promised him a new ship. So she gives him a new ship, and it's exactly the ship from episode 1, the first, Republican ship, from Naboo. Those ships, the yellow one, the one that Anakin had to hide in when they were fighting Darth Maul on Naboo. Yeah, that ship. All junked, all destroyed, so they worked together to build it back up to make a new ship for him, because the last time he had a ship, it got blown up. So, yeah. And then they built the ship together, and then they take it for a test drive. And then, of course, Finnick shows up, offering him a job to help out Boba Fett with the situation to take back the spice from the people. Pretty good episode. I really enjoyed seeing this episode because it basically was like kind of like a sneak preview of what's going to be happening in Mandalorian 3. We still don't know what, so much detail, but we did get some information here. Like, one part in the episode, we got to see Mando fight another Mandalorian for the rights to the Darksaber. Obviously, when you put that thing up for, you do a duel, that's the main prize. Whoever beats the wielder gets the sword and becomes the new leader of Mandalore. He won. Unfortunately, when he took off his helmet, I guess that's against the rules. He took it off when he wasn't supposed to. And they kind of, I guess, don't see him worthy as a Mandalorian anymore. So now Mando is going to have to go to the Mandalorian planet to try to go through the ritual again of becoming a pure Mandalorian again. So that's going to be on his show sometimes, whenever it comes out. I would assume sometime this year, but I'm not sure. So that's kind of cool. That's a cool little, story to go through. He's going to go back to Mandalore. go through the ritual to become a Mandalorian, even though Mandalorian doesn't really exist anymore because everything's pretty much destroyed, minus the 2 that we saw, in this episode, and Bo-Katan and her clan. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, seeing Mandalorian again was great. He looks great, still kicks butt. I cannot wait to see what he's gonna do in his own show. As an episode of a Boba Fett show, I felt like this was more of a desperate attempt to get people to watch the show. I feel like people are not really interested in the show that much anymore. But I'm not sure if this was actually planned to be him being the episode or just be a cameo, and they just pushed him into it just because of the ratings. I'm not sure, but it's still a great episode. No question about that. And it was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, so go figure. So she did a phenomenal job with the action scenes, the story, and also helped set up Mandalorian Season 3. So now that Mando's in it, is he going to stick around? Is he going to help Boba Fett in his quest to take over, Jabba's empire, if you will? We have to wait and see. So, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the Book of Boba Fett, starring the Mandalorian. And what do you think of it? Did you guys like it, not like it? Did you guys thought it was a little bit too desperate on their part because they need people to watch the show? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you very much and have a good night.